Visitors to the deYoung, one of San Francisco's fine arts museums, have plenty to look at on the walls. But strolling through the museum with a robot can cause heads to turn.
Pretty busy gallery here today.
The deYoung now has 2 robots that open the museum to those who could never come here in person.
How do you rate this experience, seeing the museum this way?
It allows you to explore the museum the way
Henry Evans, who is almost completely paralyzed, worked with the museum to make touring by robot a reality.
John, the fact that a quadriplegic can now wander through a museum on the other side of the planet or just across town, while comfortably lying in bed at home is pretty remarkable.
Evans had a massive stroke in 2002. At the time, he was a Silicon Valley executive. He had a full life, an MBA from Stanford, and 4 children with his wife, Jane. Now, he is pretty much confined to his bedroom at home about 40 miles from San Francisco. To make an interview possible, we sent him questions in advance.
Henry, you're talking to me, but except when you smile, I don't see your lips moving.
It is a voice synthesizer that I activate with my head movements.
A small spot on his eyeglass lens lets him move a computer cursor. Letter by letter, he spells out words, and the computer synthesizes his voice.
If you want something, you look for options.
Evans can move only his head and 1 finger.
Henry, you're looking at...
But that's enough to log onto the internet and guide a robot through the deYoung's galleries.
And thanks for letting me join you on this tour of the museum. I haven't done this kind of thing before. But it takes a lot of technology. Is it worth all this technology to bring you here this way?
If you are able-bodied, you can, and do, experience these things all the time. And you probably take them for granted. But if you spend most of your life in bed, you cannot readily experience these things, and you don't take them for granted.
Robots have opened the world for Evans, and he's pushing for robotics to help others with disabilities.
All the way from Los Altos Hills, California, Mr. Henry Evans.
By robot, he walked onto the stage at a conference on the East Coast to deliver a TED Talk on the liberating power of robotics.
This technology allows me to remain engaged, mentally active, and feel like I am a part of the world. I shaved myself for the first time in 10 years.
He is trapped in his body. So the biggest question came, how do you live your life with what you're given?
He communicates with his wife Jane by moving his eyes toward letters on a board.
It's A-R-E-M-A, remarkable, S-T-E, test, A-M, testament, to L-K-J-A, to Jane. No, I don't put it all on me, buddy. It's both of us.
Technology is giving him more ways to keep busy. A drone has brought him an even higher level of freedom.
With a little practice, I became good enough with this interface to drive around my home on my own. I could look around our garden and see the grapes we are growing. I inspected the solar panels on our roof.
Evans' desire to share the liberating power of robotics led him to the deYoung, which seized the idea of becoming a state-of-the-art museum.
A lot of folks that encounter it in the galleries just think it is a robot. Some people think it's performance art. There are different reactions to it.
Rebecca Bradley is the deYoung's director of accessibility. From her office in the museum, she did some of the early testing, partly to see if a robot would be too distracting for other museum visitors.
Are you a student?
No, I'm just visiting San Francisco. Yeah.
Oh. Enjoy the rest of your visit.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
The robots are not only for the disabled. The museum wants anyone who can't physically come here, whether because of age or distance or cost, to log on to a robot and have a look around.
Can I access this online from Michigan?
You could, yes. As long as you have a Wi-Fi connection. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And have you had a moment where you said,
yes.
wow, this this is a powerful tool.
Yeah, it was coupled with tears as well. It was the moment where there was someone logged on the beam from Alaska with his friend in the gallery, kind of having that shared experience. And it was very emotional because they could actually have that shared experience in the galleries and look at artwork together, just be museum goers.
And you don't have to go slowly for me, Henry. I know that you drive pretty quickly sometimes. I'm sure what would make this perfect is if you could physically be here wandering through the museum. But as an option, this is pretty good.
Overall, it is remarkable.
A remarkable technology that allows the simple pleasures of discovery and companionship.
What do you think about this painting?
It is interesting.